The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people. All this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's episode.
Сегодня в нашем выпуске.
Legalization of shadow capital in Kazakhstan. Kyrgyzstan, saving the moral deer. Walks along the streets of Almaty, the southern metropolis through the eyes of an expat. And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. In Turkmenistan, a new prospective natural gas deposit field has been discovered. Its territory is called Joly and is located in the Maray region, in the southeast of the country. It is notable that the deposit field is located near the world's largest gas deposit field, Galkonush, and along with other quarries, is part of a vast gas-bearing zone. Geologists are not yet ready to give an exact assessment of the potential of the Joly deposit field, but active research is being conducted at the site.
In Tajikistan,
the joint interregional project of Central and South Asia, KASA 1000, was launched. This project will unite the energy systems of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Within its framework, over the period from May to September, Central Asian countries will export up to 5 billion kilowatt-hours of electric energy to their southern neighbors. For this, a high-voltage power transmission line with a length of 477 kilometers was built, and then another one from Tajikistan to Afghanistan and further on to Pakistan. Its length, 750 kilometers.
составит 750 километров. В Узбекистане будет создан государственный
In Uzbekistan, a state university of Uzbek language and culture named after Alisher Navoy will be established. It will prepare philologists, translators, and scientific and pedagogical specialists. The university will have 3 faculties, as well as a science and research center. It is expected that the first students will commence their studies already this autumn. As a note, at the moment, the country has 59 higher education institutions and 8 affiliate institutions of foreign universities.
заведений, а также 8 филиалов иностранных вузов.
Everyone out of the shadows. Kazakhstan is getting ready for another wave of legalization of shadow capital. The campaign will last until the end of this year. But already around 700 billion tenge in property and capital has been officially declared. Our correspondent in Almaty brings us the details on this wide-scale campaign.
В сюжете нашего корреспондента из Алматы.
Timur Kanatov decided to declare his property a long time ago, but as is common, somehow just didn't get to it. Time was a decisive factor. Timur, just like thousands of other Kazakhstan citizens, has only 6 months left to officially declare his capital. As the president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, promised, this is the last chance for the country's citizens to disclose their assets, including those that took a lot of work to earn. Specialists provided me with all the information regarding what documents to put together, how to fill out the declaration forms. That's what I'm working on at the moment. I got all the documents in order and hope to submit them today. The current wave of legalization of shadow capital in Kazakhstan is already the 3rd one. The first one was conducted in 2001 and was acknowledged as one of the most successful in the countries of the CIS. Back then, the campaign brought in around $480 million. A similar campaign in 2007, aside from capital, also allowed to officially declare property assets. This year's program is being conducted by relying on the previous experience and with substantial amendments introduced into the legislative acts. This simplifies the procedure of submitting the documents and speeds up the processing period of the applications.
Одно из отличий в нынешней акции по легализации.
This campaign differs from the previous ones because it is possible to declare property that is registered on someone else's name. Tomorrow, these people on whose name the property is registered may be held responsible because during the general process of declaration of assets, the sources of earnings will be checked.
Привлечены к ответственности, потому что при всеобщем декларировании будет проверяться, откуда получалось доход.
The Department of State Revenues was assigned the task of bringing out from the shadows personal as well as real estate property, including monetary funds. In some cases, commissions of the local mayor's offices are assigned the tasks. The role of banks in the amnesty of capital was minimized. All the procedures related to the declaration of assets are conducted without commissions and additional levies. It should be mentioned that all amounts of capital that was not previously taxed need to be declared, and the money can be used immediately without having to wait 5 years like it was before.
Если раньше требовалось, чтобы человек для легализации имущества продержал сумму денег.
If before it would be required for a person to withhold from using the funds for a period of 60 months, then now this requirement has been lifted, and everything is simple. A person comes in with their identification documents, opens an account at the bank, deposits the declared capital, gets a confirmation document, and there is no commission fee.
Размещает деньги на текущий счет для легализации, получает справку, причем все это происходит без комиссии.
To this day, Kazakhstan's residents have officially declared capital and property in the amount of 700 billion tenge. The state does not directly receive revenues from the declared assets. The revenues come from paid taxes. They will be paid on the assets that were legalized. These are so-called hidden state assets.
Преследование таких субъектов за нелегализацию в любом случае не будет.
People will not be persecuted for not declaring their assets, but in the future, checks of people with big assets may be conducted to find out where the asset earnings came from. If these revenues were earned through legal means and all the taxes are paid, then of course there won't be any problems. And of course fines will not be imposed.
Проверка может быть проведена, но это не означает, что в обязательном порядке будет какое-то преследование и так далее.
Voluntary declaration of shadow capital is the first stage of implementation of the system of transparent taxation. The next stage is declaration of earnings. This will be obligatory for the country's citizens from 2017. In the beginning, the most prepared part of the population will be engaged: deputies, judges, public servants, employees and managers of national companies, as well as their spouses. The general declaration is planned for 2020 and will concern the entire population of Kazakhstan.
На грани вымирания.
At the brink of extinction, the population of moral deer in Kyrgyzstan is rapidly decreasing. It would seem, what does Leonardo Di Caprio have to do with this? As it turns out, the famous actor, or more specifically his Fund for Environmental Protection, became concerned with this problem and decided to come to the rescue. Details in the report of our correspondent in Bishkek.
Корреспондентов в Бишкеке.
From 180 to 300 marals. According to various data, this is the number of moral deer in Kyrgyzstan. And just half a century ago, the population of this noble animal reached tens of thousands. All the forest and mountainous territories of Kyrgyzstan were the habitat of the moral deer. Many factors are evidence to this: the antlers that we're finding in different places and the stories of eyewitnesses. The decline in the moral population is a serious threat to the biodiversity of the region. The noble deer is an important link in the food chain. They are the prey of snow leopards, the most rare animals in the Tian Mountains. If the moral population is not saved, then the snow leopards of Kyrgyzstan will be next.
Цель наша не только вопрос о возвращении морала, а через восстановление популяции морала.
Our aim is not just reviving the moral population, but also recruitment and protection of other species of the animal world, on which the snow leopard feeds as the predator that is at the top of the food pyramid.
Который стоит во главе этой пирамиды фауны.
The moral deer did not die out, according to scientists. They were forced into extinction, first of all because of the main predators, wolves and jackals. But the most substantial damage came from the actions of poachers. Their main aim is not the animal itself, but its antlers.
Жер бетінен бұлардың сандары азайып кеткен себебі бұлардың мүйіздерінен.
Their population decreased because they were poached for their antlers, because the antlers contain a substance that is used to make balms, medicinal products, and expensive creams. That is why the antlers are also expensive.
Бұлардың мүйіздері сондай қымбат болып есептеледі.
As a result, the situation now is catastrophic. Even the zoo of Bishkek does not have maral deer. We filmed this one in Almaty. In the neighboring Kazakhstan, everything is fine with the population of this animal. They are even bred for various purposes. Their meat and what they're so much valued for in pharmaceutics.
Это молодые рога, которые еще не окостенели.
These young antlers, which did not calcify yet, are cut off. And after treatment, special infusions are made, which improve the physical state of a person and stimulate sexual drive.
Состояние человека так и стимулирует сексуальное влечение.
In the meantime, the entire world has decided to take on the task of saving the marals in Kyrgyzstan. Even the Hollywood actor Leonardo Di Caprio got engaged. More specifically, his fund for the protection of the environment. The organization allocated a grant in the amount of $30,000. With these funds, some animals will be resettled from the reserve to a region with more favorable conditions for their livelihood and breeding.
Мы планируем везти на специальный автомобиль.
We're planning to transport them using a special van, a horse carrier, to transport 10 maral deer from the Naren State Reserve, where they live now, taking them to the chosen place and getting up on the Alanto mountain by helicopter.
Поднять на гору Аланто, это место пилотного проекта, на вертолете.
This is the locality of the pilot project. The details of the project on the reintroduction of marals have already been approved. At the moment, the specialists that will be working at the breeding ground are being trained. Also, 2 male deer and 8 females are being selected, who will become the progenitors of the new population of marals in Kyrgyzstan. The resettlement of the animal is planned for the summer of this year. Local attraction sites through the eyes of a non-local guide. The expat from the United States conducts walking tours in Almaty, following non-traditional tourist routes. Our correspondent participated in this interesting tour and understood why this expat guide is not looking for easy ways.
Иностранец не ищет легких путей.
You also see, if you look at the window, see the wooden window? Yeah. And inside the window, you have another window that opens up like this. Yeah. That's called a fortress.
In the Malaya Stanitsa district, it seems that Dennis knows every window. He has special adoration for this district, because this is from where the city of Almaty spread. Dennis is from California, US, but knows the southern metropolis of Kazakhstan better than any city native. And for already a year and a half, he's been conducting walking tours through the truly authentic places of the city.
He knows something, that is not famous to the other tourists, and this is what I want, because it shows the culture of here and show the let me have a channel to know more the people here, history here.
3 years ago, Dennis came from the United States to teach English. He got to know the city of Almaty by himself, asked the locals, read about the history, and took pictures. And then, all of a sudden, he became a guide.
And I realized really quickly that there wasn't a lot of resources in English about Almaty, about Kazakhstan in general. So I understood that there was this gap. So I wanted to provide some kind of resource to people. So I made this website, walkingalmaty.com, where I shared my pictures, I shared my stories.
Dennis organizes his tours by avoiding the more popular tourist routes. But with him, one can get a tour of the Malaya Stanitsa, the historical district of Almaty, or to choose the Golden Square, a walk through the center of the city and get to know the architecture of the Soviet times.
And one more popular tour I have is the food tour. So in the food tour, we go to Green Bazaar, and I have friends at all the different stations in the bazaar, so we go and we try some dried fruits and nuts, and we try some kumuz, and we try honey, and then we go to a lagman khana, and we watch how they make lagman and try the local lagman.
For Dennis, there is no shortage in expats who would like to see the other side of Almaty and truly feel its spirit. Within a period of a year and a half, he gave tours of Almaty to 400 tourists from 28 different countries. But he's confident that there could be much greater interest towards the main metropolis of Kazakhstan.
So I just want to say that I think that Almaty has a lot of opportunities, but that we need to keep working local Almatians with foreigners like me to kind of make the experience better for foreigners, because if that infrastructure was there, this would be a world-class destination that could get, millions of visitors.
Thanks to Dennis Keane, a true patriot of Almaty, there is a person here who can greet and entertain foreign guests with the history and culture of the city. And it is worthwhile for the city's residents to take part in the tours to get a different look at their own city.
На этом все.
You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.
Kazakh TV.